Hello, welcome to a Psalm for today. Your reassuring voice that Jesus is Lord. Today is Psalm 73. In Psalm 73, it opens with, "Truly, God is good to Israel." And we say it all the time in churches around the world. God is good, and everybody replies, all the time. And we know it's true. God is good all the time. The problem in Psalm 73 is the psalmist isn't feeling like God is good. He's saying God is good, but, and that's verse 2. So you might say that God is good all the time, but I have this situation in which it doesn't look like he's good. The psalmist said, I begin to slip from this God is good theology. My foot almost slipped, he says in the psalm. And that slipping was envy. He said, I became envious of the wicked. And in other words, I think we could say that the goodness of God was doubted when the psalmist began to look at things other than the character of God. The psalmist began to look at things like prosperity, health, resources, things that are not related necessarily to the character of God. So God is good all the time, but he said, and when I became envious, my foot almost slipped, almost crashed and burned, he said. And then in the middle of the psalm, he says, until I went into the sanctuary. In other words, there is this experience in God that recalibrates our perspectives. We can lose perspective and notice the wrong things, or not necessarily the wrong things, but less efficient things. So the psalmist says, I was envious. I was losing my hold on the theology of the goodness of God until I went into his sanctuary. So when you doubt and I doubt the goodness of God, we draw ourselves into the sanctuary. Then further down in the psalm, the psalmist says, it is good for me to draw near to God. It is good for me to give thanks to God because I trust him. And so sometimes the God is good theology is shaken. We become doubtful of the goodness of God. And we are invited with the